Hey David, it's Josh Mullins here with the Week 4 post. This video probably won't be too long just because the content in Week 4, there wasn't that much stuff, as you most likely know. But anyways, I'll talk about what I did on Saturday, is when I started to research the light spectrum and fill out the Excel sheet. On the first day I probably got past, close up to the infrared. Yeah, I got up to the infrared and some of the UV, and then on Sundays when I finished it today, the light spectrum I thought was very interesting. There was a lot of things that I learned from that, from researching, that I didn't know that we used every day, that we take for granted and don't even understand how certain things work. Like, for example, the GPS is used by the microwaves, or I knew X-rays were used in the medical field and stuff like that, but it's kind of weird once you actually start researching all the different light spectrums, how often they're used in everyday life. Me personally, I think that the microwaves were my favorite, just because of the way that we use them so much. With our everyday microwave, I mean, I probably use that probably a good 3 times a day to heat up my food. And also just because the fact of the GPS, I think that's really cool how they use that, because me, I'm not very good with directions, and using a GPS is definitely a lifesaver for me. But I also like the radio waves, just because it seemed like that one was the one used the most in everyday life, just because the wavelengths, they're so long, and I just feel like they're the ones, I'm not really sure if this is correct or not, but the ones that we can use the most, and they're not as harmful as, say, as something like a UV ray, or like a gamma ray or something like that. So it seems like, the microwave and the radio waves are definitely something that are very useful in everyday life. I also thought it was really cool how visible light is perceived, that technically things are colored just from reflections of how the wave hits it, which is pretty sweet. But I also had a question that I was kind of confused about in the Excel worksheet, about how, here, let me pull up the question real fast. You asked, describe what charge is accelerating and how. I think I was supposed to figure this out for each light spectrum, but I wasn't really able to find any information on every single one. I mean, the best definition that I could find was that electromagnetic waves are produced by the vibrations of charged particles and have electrical and magnetic fields, and that these light spectrums travel through a vacuum in space at a constant speed of light. That was basically the general definition that I found, and I wasn't really sure how to piece them up to each light spectrum, but I'm just assuming that they're all pretty much similar, and by charged particle I believe that means electrons, since protons usually aren't the ones that are being transferred from object to object, so I'm assuming that by charged particle they mean electrons. And also on Sunday, what I finished up was my NEAT video. I used a remote control and described how a remote control works with the infrared light and an LED, how it's the transmitter is sent into the receiver, and then it receives it in a binary code, and then it processes it and uses that code to change your volume up or down, turn the TV off, change the channel, or whatever the code's written for. But as of next week, I'm looking forward to getting a better head start on the thing, since you've already posted it, and I hope that everything's going well with you, and that the rest of the semester goes well. Have a good day. Bye.